party started. So am I live? Hey everybody! Everybody! Somebody text back and say you can hear me. Now I'm starting to panic. All you gotta do is type something in and say, hey Mike, we hear you, you sound great. All right, thank you. Nope. Oh God, don't do that. All right, thank you guys. Hey everybody, it's Mike Meyers. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Mike Meyers live stream, Ask Mike Anything. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies on Comptia certifications. So the goal here is that you ask me questions and I answer them for you. Now there's two ways to ask me a question. The first way, simply to type it right here into the chat window here on YouTube. Now if you want to do what I do, I like to pop that out. So you can actually pop the chat out of the browser into its own browser. And at the top it says top chat, hit the pull down, put that to live chat. Because otherwise, YouTube likes to sort things in strange and interesting ways. So we'll go ahead and do that as well. While you're at it, you might want to go ahead and toggle the timestamps in the live chat. Sometimes you ask a question, sometimes it takes me a while to get to it. And I want to make sure that I can reference a time and that you can see where I'm talking about. So if we're talking about a particular question. Secondly, if you want to, you can just go ahead and send me an email. My contact information is michaelm@totalsim.com. That's michaelm@totalsim.com. If you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe. And for those of you who are just, I'm Desweds at everything. Desweds at Gmail and Desweds at all kinds of different kinds of things. And of course, I have to have my initial on. Be excited, people, because big news, my co-anchor is coming back on Monday. Yep, that's right, folks. Jack the Attack Cat is coming back. So we got Mr. Jack, and he will be here Monday. And so we're looking forward to having his interesting color commentary, at least for those of you who can speak cat. So I'm looking forward to that. What else we got going on here? It's a quiet day today. Oh, and do keep in mind here, folks, is that, so this starts at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and it runs until 4 o'clock or until the questions run out. So whatever comes first, that's going to determine that. So you definitely want to have some questions. We do have some, we're probably going to be doing some giveaways today. But also, more importantly, do keep in mind is that this week we have 50% off literally any one of our practice questions in the entire Total Seminars catalog. So this actually goes way outside of just Comptia certifications, cloud, and all kinds of other different things out there. Microsoft. And in order to get these, all you have to do is head over to the Total Seminars website. That's www.totalsem.com. Head over to the merchant area, pick up all your fat loot, and make sure they're just practice questions. Nothing else it takes advantage of this. And then when you check out, just type in fireworks. That's FIREWORKS, and you get 50% off of everything. So that's a pretty good deal. So it's 50% off practice questions, and you even get 50% off combinations. So let's say you want practice questions and performance-based questions, which we have for A+ and Network Plus. In that case, you can just pick up the A+ Total Tester, and then you buy the A+ Total Sims. And when you get those and put both of those in your cart, again, just by typing in fireworks into the promo code, you get 50% off. So you have to get practice questions, but if you want practice questions and the performance-based, just type in fireworks at the promo and you've got it. How's that for an amazing deal? Our practice questions, I think, are absolutely amazing. I'm just looking to see, we're getting information coming in just in. Questions are absolutely amazing, and at 50% off, they're absolutely insane. All right. So anytime you hear me get quiet like this, it's just because I'm making sure I haven't missed any questions. And I'm kind of scrolling through, making sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, very good. All right, so everybody's looking good. Let's first of all, let's go ahead and get started. See who's around today. So Vishal, is that a new name? Vishal, are you new here? I don't believe your name rings a bell to me. It probably, you've been here before and I missed you in the past. Andrew Parrish, Andrew Hutz, Tolowit, Alan Duggan, Tolowit. Jason Helms, Drew B, Patricia Grace, my favorite chick nerd in the entire universe. Daily IT Solutions, good to see you, man. Justin Miller, Bob Noob. All right, so you're Justin Miller, you're goo. Yeah. Okay, so also do keep in mind in the background we got Scott Jernigan and Dave Rush helping out. Guys, always do appreciate having you here. Let's see what we got going on. Andrew Hutz at 201, right off the box. Mike, I've been working on Hack the Box machines. Do you think doing write-ups on them and posting it to a blog would be a good idea? I've heard people say it can look good to employers. It absolutely can. Andrew, I'd recommend that highly. Practical CTF type scenarios or just however you want, you could play both ways of that, right, if you want to. And I think that'd be an excellent idea. And I'd love to read it. Let me know when you start doing that, Andrew. I'd be glad to read them myself. Oh, everybody's enjoying the goo typo there. Ignore them, Justin. They don't have lives. Siegfried. Goodness. Maven Feliciano. David Mohan. Who do you think will win, England or Denmark, in the Euro semi-final? What are you talking about, David? I'm kidding. You're talking about soccer. David, Scott Jernigan is our resident soccer fanatic. And, of course, he likes to correct me and say football. God, that joke's getting old. But, David, I'll defer to whatever Scott Jernigan says. Kevin Lopez. Who else is taking the Security Plus 501 here? Doesn't look like anybody's answered. You know, do keep in mind, we're getting pretty close here, Kevin. I think we were talking about this last week. But definitely want to be looking at getting that thing knocked out before the 501 gets retired. Bob Noob, I have a specific question that I can't fix. All the text in VirtualBox is way too small for me to read. Bob, my assumption is that you have got like a 4K monitor or something like that, and you have changed the scale and layout. You're running Windows, and the scale and layout is scaled up really, really high. And the bottom line is, I didn't realize that was a problem in VirtualBox. That does pop up from time to time in other apps, I won't lie. So I'm going to bring my VirtualBox up real quick. Oh, there's a new version. So I'm going to bring my VirtualBox up so you guys can see it. Let me pull this up. All right, so if you take a look, so this is the actual full-size view of what VirtualBox looks like on this particular machine. This is a 4K monitor, and as you can see, the text is relatively pretty small. And so the answer's pretty straightforward there. Hang on. People are typing at me really, really, really quick. Okay, so anyway, what I would be doing, and it's a pretty straightforward fix, at least temporarily, just go back in and change your, I'll find it, hang on. Here, let me bring it over for you. Just readjust your scale and layout, even temporarily. Try different values in there, or even bringing it up a little bit more, or even potentially bringing it down. The reason I'm saying bringing it down is that on some apps, just don't pay any attention to any of this. and they just keep getting smaller and smaller. However, since I've been running VirtualBox on a system in Windows 10 that has a 4K monitor on it, which is what I'm running on right now, I was able to just, well, how's this for old eyes? Sometimes you just have to get closer to the monitor. There's more than one time I've done the, what? But that should be all you need to do to fix it. I got it trapped over here. All right, what else we got going on here today? Crazy Homebody Girls here, that's good. Engitect, is the Comptia Windows curse still on with the arrival? Oh, I know what you're talking about. This is actually very interesting. So, Engitect, I haven't seen you before online, but thank you for that. This is a very interesting question. What I'm pretty sure Engitect is talking about is that for almost 15 years, remember there's a reversion of Windows A+ every 3 years or so. And that was Comptia would always miss whatever the latest version of Windows was. And for a long time, I think you can go back to like 601. 601? Yeah, I think so. Where whatever the latest version of Windows was, it wasn't on the latest version of Comptia A+. So if Windows 7 was the hottest version of Windows, whatever version of A+ that came out would not adopt Windows 7. So let me make a hypothetical. Let's just say Windows 7 was out, but then Comptia would come along and whatever that next version of Comptia A+ was, they wouldn't have the latest version of Windows. And this went on forever. It was literally with the 1001, 1002, with its adoption of Windows 10, was the first time that we had a Comptia A+ that actually had all the most recent versions of Windows. So Engitect, if I had to guess, and that's all I'm doing is guessing, will Comptia curse still go on based on nothing that I have other than hearsay and gossip? I got $50 that says the Comptia curse will continue, and that the next version of A+ will not include Windows 11. Knock on wood, maybe Comptia will finally get it right this time. But yeah, it's been a very frustrating thing. And what's funny is that for so many of us, I mean, you're here on this station, this YouTube stream, to learn. So you're relatively new to Comptia, and you're not even aware that this was a problem. It was a huge problem. Let's see what happens. Very, very interesting point. Yeah, I'm going to give Engitect the most interesting question of the week. Andrew Parrish, what are your thoughts on the Kaznea ransomware attack? The same thing I have on all these ransomware attacks. It's half of it has to do with patching. It just shocks me how bad patching issues come into play. David Mohan, what's the difference between BPA versus MOU? Memorandum of Understanding versus, oh God, BPA. One moment, please. Business Partnership Agreement. Oh, Lord. You're going to make me read this. All right, so let's start with Memorandum of Understanding is an easy one. And with the Memorandum of Understanding, what you're having is you have two organizations. First of all, Memorandum of Understandings, MOUs, are not legal documents. They're just written what we're going to try to do. And keeping an MOU simple, one of the examples would probably be, I'm trying to get BPA ready. So a memorandum of understanding would be like, say, two hospitals would make a memorandum of understanding. The MOU would say, if for some reason we can't take ambulances, you will take our ambulances. So it's a relationship. It defines the relationship, defines how long the relationship will last, what the duties are on both parties' side, that kind of thing. A business partnership agreement, oh Lord. Okay, thank you. I had to look at something to remember. The big thing about a business partnership agreement is that it's a legal document. Remember, MOU is not a legal document. It doesn't stand up in court. It's just a best attempt. But a business partnership agreement is when you're defining a partnership between two entities, usually two separate businesses that are going into a defined partnership, providing a product or whatever it might be. It's the actual partnership agreement that defines everything that has to do with that partnership. Percentage ownership, there's not a time limit on a BPA because the partnerships, at least in the United States, tend to be forever unless they're actually shut down for one reason or another. Whew, got me on that one for a minute, David. No. Looking for questions. Jean Dorival, I remember you. Good to see you again, Jean. J.M. Romero, can you explain the difference between desk support and help desk? Which position do you prefer? I'm not particularly aware, J.M. Romero, that there is a difference between the two. Help desk is always going to be usually a call-in situation where there is a remote person who walks you through stuff. So with the help desk, you rarely actually physically meet somebody. My speculation, and I reserve the right to be wrong here, is that what you're calling desk support, let me do a search on the phrase desk support, see if anything actually comes up. Doing a quick little search. All right, so I didn't find anything instantaneous, but to me a desktop support is usually going to be where a person is doing some kind of direct work with the person who's having trouble. Whereas with a help desk, they'll sit there and say, you know, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Have you done this? Have you done that? And they expect you to do it. With desktop support, usually they'll either they'll march you through the process. They'll do it themselves. That's also a big one with desktop support, is that they'll do remote connections and actually do that work. And the other thing with desktop support is they can directly have a technician showing up to your desk to get something done on a timely basis. When I think of desk support, I'm thinking about like an in-house IT support. Whereas with a help desk, it's almost always going to be a third party. See how that works. Justin Miller, I start a new job on Monday with a $2 bump in pay. Well done. Justin Miller, that's what I like to hear, man. Look, that's what it all boils down to, right? Is getting a job, having fun, doing the stuff that we love to do, and getting paid for it. I get paid for doing this. Yeah. Maven Feliciano, you said, I always love it when people start with that, Maven, you scare me. You said you can save the prize winners for when we log in. If we have 2 or 3, oh, I know what you're saying. Does that start the 90 days for all, or we log in for each starts different logins? Geez, Maven, I don't even know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. So Maven, the one thing I do know is that you have to use a different email address every time. And so if you've won multiple times and you're using the same email address, I'm already completely lost. Our system doesn't support that. So assuming you have different email addresses, the system sees you as a different person, and each time you log in with each one of those unique email addresses, then it will work. Maven, if you're doing anything else, stop talking to me now because I don't have a clue. Maven, if you're doing anything else, then you need to contact Kathy Yale, Kathy Y, Kathyy at totalsem.com, and just tell her what's going on, and we'll be able to help you from there. Interesting point, yeah. No. RedTuber3. What title describes the go-to guy for minor internal PC mobile network issues, security questions, advice for the former? Major items get redirected to a third-party company. Would this be help desk? No, well, actually, RedTuber, this is kind of interesting. For the question we had a little bit earlier, this would be more like desktop support, in my opinion. But you got to keep in mind, RedTuber, there's no official rule here. You understand? There is no standard thing here. Anybody can, you can call it, Pepe the Wonder Poodle can be the name of the title for your first level of support people. So RedTuber 3, it's a very, very bad idea to think that there is locked-in descriptions for these things that are universally accepted, that are appreciated, and are always the same. It doesn't happen that way. Terms like desktop support and help desk can be spun around. Different organizations have different ways of doing those things. There is no perfect dictionary. There's no Webster's definition for these types of things. So I can give you my opinion, and that's going to be generically pretty much help desk does any of that stuff. Jam Romero, I prefer to use VirtualBox on scale mode. Jam Romero, I do too. My problem mainly with VirtualBox more than anything else is that I have it running on so many different systems with different resolutions and stuff like that I forget. And I don't like running VirtualBox in full screen very often anyway, but I do like to run it in scale mode. So guys, the scale mode basically scales the resolution up or down based on how big your window is, tied to the resolution of your monitor. It's a wonderful feature of VirtualBox, and Jam Romero, thanks for reminding me about that. It is a great feature, and I also use scale mode as well. Vishal Sanjeev, you guys, I'm just going to maul people's names. I'm going to start calling everybody Bob. Mike, what should I set for passing A+ certification goal? As how many months of preparation should I target, or else I don't want my procrastination taking control of me? Fair enough. Here, I make it real easy, Vishal. So basically for A+, I always recommend about 220 hours of study for the average person. If you're using any of my books, I literally, in the introductory chapter, create a grid for you to help calculate the number of hours it's going to take. The problem we have here is I can tell you how many hours it's going to take. You're the one who has to decide how well you study. Hear where I'm coming from? Or, when are you going to study? The first thing I can tell you, if procrastination is a serious concern for you, go ahead and pay for the exam now. Put your money down. Give yourself, all right, here, I'll walk you through it. 220, so let's say you can study 20 hours a week. So that's 11 weeks. So you count 11 weeks in the future. You call up the testing group and you say, here's my credit card. I'm going to take the A+, 1001 and the 1002. I assure you that procrastination will not be a big issue when you've already put cash down and that time's getting closer and closer and closer and closer. David Mohan, what is meant by risk appetite? So a risk appetite basically means is that how much risk are you willing to deal with on any particular risk issue, okay? So when we're talking about risk, and by the way, folks, most of this stuff is disappearing from the 601 exam. But when we talk about risk, when we'll talk about we can ignore it, right? We can ignore the risk. We can try to mitigate the risk. We can transfer the risk to other people, like, have a cloud provider do my firewalls instead of doing my firewalls. ourselves. But all of these, how we deal with particular risk is based on, well, you know, a lot of things, probability, impact, things like that. But it also has to do with risk appetite. How much are we willing to deal with this risk? So a lot of times you determine risk appetite by doing a lot of stuff. For example, you can do it quantitatively by saying, well, if it costs more than this, then we're going to mitigate it. If it's going to cost less than this on an annualized basis, then we'll just ignore it. So you can literally choose between mitigation and ignoring depending on your risk appetite. So I hope that helps. So I needed some help with setting a goal for the exam. The goal is to pass. That's your goal. We'll have to see. Vishal, take a minute and describe when you say goal, what you're trying to look for there. Are you hold on, I'm trying to get myself scrolled. Will changing the native resolution to 1080p, will it fix it? So Ingitech, so we're talking about the VirtualBox stuff and it's too small. Will changing the native resolution, first of all, you cannot change the native resolution on a monitor, right? The native resolution is fixed from the factory. But changing the resolution to 1080, will it fix it? Sort of, yeah. Sort of it'll fix it. Be sure to change your scaling back to 100%. And again, here's the other thing, Ingitech. I don't know how big your monitor is. Do you have a 54-inch monitor? Do you have a 12-inch monitor? I mean, it really makes a big difference, right? The bigger the monitor, no matter how small you get something down, it's bigger, right? Because the monitor's physically bigger. But in general, yes, it would help. Tolowit, are you familiar with print nightmare exploit? No. This is always the biggest problem I run into, especially when I'm trying to pound through a particularly hard book for me, is I don't check the news for stuff like I should be doing. I'm just reading about it right now. I'm seeing from June 8th. This time, I'm on The Verge right now, which is a site I like to go for news like this type of stuff. Microsoft is even patching Windows 7. Microsoft has started rolling out an emergency patch to address a critical flaw in the print spooler service. Dubbed Print Nightmare, was revealed last week. Accidentally published proof of oh, nice. I love it when they do that. So whoever the people are who found this, they published proof of concept exploit code. So basically, not only did they say there was an issue, they showed people how to do it. Microsoft has issued out-of-band security updates to address the flaw. Print spooler service runs by default. Microsoft has to issue patches. Oh God, this is not good. I haven't looked at the vulnerability yet, Tolowit. I don't know what it is, but they are making a lot of noise about that. CVE 2021-1675. Additional documented CVE 34527. Good God, when did CVE values get that high? Yeah, so you go under the Common Vulnerabilities database and look up 34527. It's all in there. I will do that after this AMA. Probably the end result of all this great panic is patch it. As always, just patch it. Hold on. So Aji's here, 128. You bought the questions in the simulation this morning. Cool. When in the time frame obtained, usually within about 24 hours. I think we say up to 3 days, but we're usually pretty quick about that. Kevin Lopez, 216. Is RC4 an encryption algorithm or a hash algorithm? It is an encryption algorithm. I have seen it discussed in both contexts. I assure you that RC4 is not in any way a hash algorithm, unless it's a weird one. I don't know. RC4 is a hash algorithm? No, sorry, man. I'm pretty familiar with most of the hash algorithms. I've never seen the term RC4 used in connection to that. So one of the things you got to watch out for is when you run into situations like what you're describing to me right there, is a lot of times you might be talking about practice questions. And I assure you that many a time I've used RC4 as a wrong answer when talking about practice questions, Kevin Lopez. Yeah, it is. I assure you it is a streaming encryption algorithm, streaming symmetric encryption algorithm. EMH 217. Looking for questions. EMH, I bought your Network Plus book. Can you briefly review Layer 2 data link? That's about the only way I can do it. Hang on. Make sure we don't have any fires burning. Okay. Layer 2 of the OSI 7-layer model. So layer 2, known as the data link layer, handles primarily the hardware addressability and connectivity of individual network cards between each other. The big thing we want to remember on layer 2 is that this is the first time addressing comes into play, in particular hardware-based or physically or MAC addresses, media access control. So that's really the biggest thing. When we're talking about layer 2, you need to think about what devices are working at layer 2. The big thing is layer 2 switches. A classic switch works at layer 2. Devices like hubs really work more at layer 1 since they're just stupid devices. But remember, switches actually keep a listing of all the MAC addresses that it's connected to on a port-by-port basis and creates point-to-point links. So that's the biggest thing we need to remember about layer 2 more than anything else, is that that's the MAC addresses that come into play. Now you can do other stuff as well that you'll never see on an exam. For example, when we talk about layer 2, we can actually split it up into two pieces. The layer 2 is the LLC, logical link control, and then the media access control. The logical link control has to do with how do I apply a network device to an individual MAC address. Now, you would say to yourself, well, Mike, that's because MAC addresses come from the factory, right? Doesn't every network card, wired or wireless, come with a burned-in MAC address? Yes, it does, but you could change it. And there are situations where we might want to change it from time to time. Not too many situations, but we can do that. For example, one place we might want to change a MAC address is because a network card dies. And sometimes it's easier for us to stamp in a new network card and just have it spoof the old MAC address for software reasons. So that could be one particular reason. Or maybe you got a lot of weird ACL stuff that's MAC address based, and you put this new network card in, you're going to have to wipe it all out. You just put in a new network card and type in the new address. Type in the old address. That would be one situation. So hopefully, EMH, that gives you the answers you're looking for. Just looking for questions. Okay, so I do want to make a quick mention while I'm trying to see what people are talking about here. So one of the things is that there is a unofficial Mike Meyers Discord channel. This Discord channel, and I believe Scott Jurgen, I don't see any links. I should just get my own link and then cut and paste it in on an as-needed basis that way. However, it's a great place and something you should consider joining in with. The Discord channel is 24/7, obviously, but it tends to have a good little crowd of folks after every AMA. So I'm on Mondays and Wednesdays at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, but my good buddy Dave Rush is on Fridays, and Dave is going to be celebrating his 1 year Dave Rush AMA, DRAMA drama, and he's going to be celebrating, coming up here soon. Dave's going to be celebrating, and what's more fun is that we're going to have a number of giveaways. We're going to be giving away Raspberry Pis. For those of you who don't watch Dave's channel, A, you should, it's interesting, and B, Dave likes to work with Raspberry Pis a lot. Now, you might say to yourself, why am I want to learn Raspberry Pis, Mike? I'm trying to study for my A+ or Security Plus, whatever it is. Well, the reason is because Dave has come up with a million different ways to use Raspberry Pis as a very, very cheap way to learn how to do A+, Net+, Security Plus, and some other technical issues on that as well. So instead of people investing on a whole bunch of computers or something like that, just running little Raspberry Pi boxes can be a very, very efficient way to learn all kinds of stuff, in particular networking and Linux. Just using Pis, and Dave's got some great stuff. So Dave's going to be celebrating a year at this, and he's going to be, that'll be on August 6th. So that's going to be coming up in a little bit. I'm a little early. Sorry, Dave. That's a month away. Anyway, back to the Discord channel. So the Discord channel, it's a great place to show up on for a little while after every one of these AMAs. One of us will pop on. I'll be on today, for example, to say hello to everybody. It's a different kind of vibe. I mean, an AMA, as you can imagine, all I can do is respond to things that you guys type into a chat window. But with the Discord, I've got my camera on and I've got my headset on, and we can all talk to each other as well as just type in stuff. So please join us on the Discord channel. It's a lot of fun. And Dave Rush says, the link was posted at 2:25. All right, so see, we got a couple of folks who really want to have a competition today, huh? We can do that. We can do that. All right, I'm going to do a... I'm coming up with a good question. So guys, get ready. We're going to have a competition. So a couple of things on this competition, just so you know. Number one, these competitions are not fair, all right? I'd like for them to be fair, but they're not. Because of latency and things like that, things change. I'm going to put a question up on the screen, and you guys answer that question, okay? It'll be a multiple choice question. Do not bother typing A, B, C, or D. We tried that once a long time ago, and guys like Tolowit just typed A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Okay, he didn't really, but I like him better than everybody else, so I can tease him. Whoever I see, you have to type enough of the answer that I know which one you're talking about, okay? And this one's going to be particularly challenged because of that. Anyway, let's do this. This is an interesting question. This is, I can't even say anything because I'll give too much away. Let's go ahead, let's bring this question over to the place of our learning. Okay, you guys ready? So here's how you win at this competition. What you have to do is you read the question and then type in the answer. I don't even know the answer to this one. I'm going to be coming in cold with you guys. And Whoever types in the answer first wins. And ergo, that's the challenge with the fairness. So everybody ready? Here we go. Oh, by the way, if you want to compete, but because we have such a small group, we have such a small group, you don't want the prize, just type in your answer and put pass on the end, okay? So here we go, kids. That's no fun. All right. Jessica notices that many of her internal hosts are querying what looks to be a forged internal web server, www.inhouse.local, at 127.17.8.10. Okay. The correct IP address of that is 172.17. Okay. That says a lot right there. This is in-house on an internal web server. Jessica successfully pings, so she can ping it, but when she inspects the DNS query logs, she sees that have a forged address. Those servers are no longer passing the forged address. Which of the following is the problem? This is a good one. All right, guys, I'm going to let you, I think I know what the answer is. But I don't want to say anything yet. So I'm going to let you guys, let's type in some answers and let's see if somebody comes up with something. Oh, we've got lots of them. Kevin Lopez, don't just type a letter in. We don't do that. Alexander Alter Ego, congratulations for passing your MTA. Microsoft Server, well done. Look at all these smart aleck answers. All right. Wow. I'm going to have to do some digging to find. All right, let's go. First of all, let's see what the right answer is. All right. All right. Internal hosts. Correct IP address. Logs in, expects a DNS. All right. So we've got some poisoning going on here for sure. Unfortunately, 3 of the answers are poisoning. It looks like we got a DNS problem because the DNS would be returning an improper IP address. I'm assuming a proxy server poisoned the IP address, or it's going to be the switch. I can't tell. All right. I'm going to go with D for starters. A is correct. Oh, DNS server! It said DNS in the answer. Sorry. I'm dumb. The DNS server was poisoned. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, so I have the answer of A. Let's see. Who's got digging? Spherical chickens. All right, so I'm pretty sure, okay, so Kevin Lopez, you're the winner. All right, I'm going to sit here and clap for a minute. Well done, Kevin Lopez. It was definitely DNS poisoning. I read the answer too fast. Even I get, the number one reason people fail Comptia exams is test anxiety, and the number 2 reason is they know too much. And old Uncle Mike, who probably wrote that question, it was DNS was poisoned. That's what would have changed the IP address, at least in terms of a ping. What a mess. All right, so anyway, Kevin Lopez, congratulations to you. You are the winner. You need to claim your prize. You need to send an email to kathY@totalsem.com. Kevin Lopez, be sure to add your name, your YouTube name. So I need to see in that email, you need to have Kevin Lopez in there and let Kathy know exactly which practice questions you'd like to have. A+, Net+, Security+, the world is yours. Enjoy. Congratulations to you. Also, for those of you who didn't win, remember, we have 50% off literally the entire practice questions catalog over at Total Seminars. Just head over to www.totalsem.com. head over to our merchant area, click on some practice questions, and just before you check out, in the promo area, type in the word fireworks. That's plural, Fireworks, and you get everything that you want at 50% off. What a great deal. Eric Sinazakas, exactly what you did answering that question is why I failed my first A+. I understand, man. I did it myself right there on the screen. Oh, well. Abu Bakr Alij, I have a question, Mike, regarding the processors of 32 and 64-bit, okay? They say 32-bit less secure, which I don't understand. How is that related to security? I don't know. I do not consider 32-bit to be less secure, just by being 32-bit. There is more security in 64-bit processors, not because they're 64-bit, but because they tend to be more recent, that have some feature sets. But I would not agree with that. I would say that 32-bit and 64-bit, by the nature of the bit width, are equally secure. So when you say they, who is this they? Who is they who says this? I would like to speak to them, and I will give them a piece of my mind. But honestly, Abu Bakr, I'm sorry, I'm mauling your name. I'm so embarrassed. I would not say that either one is more secure. Bob Noob, do you like Ryzen or Intel, Mike? I'm a Ryzen guy. Pretty much running almost everything on Ryzens these days. Mainly it's the price point more than anything else is what motivates me to go with those. Alexander Alter Ego, I think older drivers are 32 less secure perhaps. Alexander Alter Ego also says weird question, which I will agree with that one for sure. EMH, why would Windows 11 require TPM and an Intel 27 or AMD Zen 2? I don't know. I mean, I've looked into this a little bit. I guess the TPM thing's a good thing. I've been running TPM for years now. I like it. TPM, trusted TPM's at least 10 years old now, guys. It's not that new. And it does give a pretty good level of security, and it also allows an excellent place for signing anything because you get your own built-in public certificate. But I still have not, I gotta be honest with you guys, I have not looked at the hardware requirements for Windows 11 in great detail. I am aware of the TPM, but other than that, I didn't catch it. I don't remember. I don't remember is the right answer of anything that was particularly noteworthy or onerous. Oh, good Lord. David Carrington. Hi, Mike. Can you tell me if the max throughput speeds for cellular on the A+, can I tell you if the max throughput speeds are on there? I got to be careful what I say here, David. There are some questions that allude towards speed with cellular WAN, but I guess the only thing I can say is that they're relative. Know who's slower and know who's faster. Looking for questions. Come on, questions. Engitech, what do you think about Intel disabling TSX by default? Would it affect applications on Linux and Windows? I've forgotten what TSX is. David, Scott, bail me out, man. What the hell is TSX? TSX. Totally sexy exchange. TSX. So I do a search for TSX, I get nothing. Toronto Stock Exchange. TSX. TSS disambiguation. Other uses. Transactional synchronization. I have no idea. Engitech, you got me, man. I have no idea. I've never even heard the term before. Is this really a thing that... TSX is a technology to enable hardware transactional memory. You don't have transactional... I don't know. Watch me. I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to say something that every technician should learn how to say. Engitech, I don't know. But I can look it up. Yeah, I haven't had an open field running research in a while. It might be fun. Just because my buddy Engitech has me temporarily stumped. I think on Monday, we ought to have a TSX conversation. Yeah, it gives me an excuse to do a little research over the weekend. All right, so Engitech, you got to come back on Monday because I will be loaded for bear talking about whatever the heck TSX is. I think I have a rough understanding of what transactional memory means, but I'll have to look at it in more detail. Just for you, my friend, we're going to do that. Peter Hunt, it's like old, it's old. Simone Sabati. Hi, Mikey. Hello, Simone. Oh, Jason, can you guys actually hear those dogs barking outside? I got some barky dogs next door. They're good dogs, but they like everybody to know that they're there. David Mohan, what impact does national, territory, or state laws have on an organization's security? Okay, well, first of all, you got to be careful about the term security here, David. You guys have heard of the CIA of security. So the CIA of security has always been like the three things that we use for making sure confidentiality, integrity, and accounting, or I forgot what CIA of security stands for. Anyway, so it wasn't until maybe 15 years ago we started really getting some serious laws for security. So now we call it the CYA of security, which stands for cover your... there you go. So is it really security? I don't know. It's... the bottom line is... Hold on a minute. I'm getting multiple inputs here. So the impact can be great depending on what impact. I mean, David Mohan asked very specific questions, and David, I want to be respectful of the right way to answer that. It is CYA because most of the time it's not like you are worried about being hacked or something. It's because some government that has bigger guns than you is going to make you do something. Isn't that interesting? I always thought that's something we should add to security is what's the impact of breaking a law, Fines and going to jail and stuff. It's not like you're really at risk of your entity being compromised. It's because the governments can just jack with you because they're bigger than you, And I don't know. I'm going to get all libertarian on you guys, and Scott Jernigan will get mad at me. All right, not going to do that. So the impact of national, territory, or state laws. So let's just say, what's the impact of territorial laws? Let's not even do state laws, okay? Let's just territorial laws. And that is many governments, if you're doing business within that government, they make certain requirements. In particular, you become susceptible to some of their laws. There's some real question mark on this. GPRS, for example, which the Europeans go crazy about. Here in the States, a lot of places just straight up ignore it. And there hasn't been any legal challenge to that to create any issues yet. But the impact, I would rather you say risk, because the impact is money. The risk is that you could evoke the ire. This is a very interesting question, David. You're doing great today. All right, so I used the wrong term. All right. David Rush, will you please tell me the famous European personal protection term? You go to a European website. Dave Rush! You go to a European website, and in those websites, they have a thing where you can control the types of information that's being exposed or not exposed. Unfortunately, the only person who can answer this for me is Dave Rush, because I can't scroll through the live chat or I'll lose my position and not know where the questions are. I will wait patiently for Dave Rush. Okay. So the impact is being illegal. That's really all it boils down to. Okay, Mark Wheeler, I just got your GDPR. Thank you, David. I just got your practice, Mark Wheeler at 249. I just got your practice test sim bundle, and I'm wondering if my 1 year starts today or when I activate it. When you activate it. Bob Noob, what do you think of the very famous typo squatting site Goggle? There's 1,000 examples like that, Bob Noob. That's just one of them. Okay, ba-ba-bum. Peter Hunt, are you using a Windows PC? Yes. How often do you see a blue screen? Almost never. It's measured in years on a per machine basis. I think I'm getting them often, and I've reinstalled a few times already. Most blue screens can often be pointed to hardware issues. For example, bad RAM can cause blue screens. Peter Hunt, if you have a relatively old machine and you try to put Windows 10 on it, you can also end up with getting blue screens of death in that aspect. Bad hard drives can cause blue screens of death. The best thing you can do, assuming you're running Windows 10, is to go ahead and just run your installation media and do a repair install, repair my computer, and Windows does a pretty good job of locating those types of problems. No, you should not have blue screens of death very often, and if you've done a few installs, you now know that the software ain't the problem. You have a hardware issue. Alexander Alter Ego at 248. I have TPM and my system is a bit old. Yep, that's been around 10 years at least, maybe more than that. Looking for questions. Oh God, there goes the big scroll. Kevin Lopez at 251. Can you do a quick run through of what we should know about EAP for 501 if possible? Sure. The biggest thing you have to remember about EAP is just a packet format that allows all kinds of different forms of authentication. So I don't remember exactly which forms of EAP are listed in the 501, but make sure you have them all memorized, all right? So make sure you know EAP TLS, EAP TTLS, which ones? Those are the only two I know for a fact that would be on the 501, but there's others. Whatever's in the book or watching the videos. And just make sure you understand the different types they are. So it's no harder than that. Which one uses passwords? Which one uses certificates? I'll let you sort them out. Punjan Kavi at 252. Can you discuss AH and IPsec ESP in detail? No, not right here. But I'll tell you what, Punjan, that's a very good question. You know what? And I have a wonderful IPsec presentation. I don't think we've ever done IPsec in the AMA before, but I'll tell you what, on Monday, we're going to add IPsec to the list. I think we're probably due for one more shot at it. I'm very worried that IPsec is not on the 601. I just forget. Dave Rush or Scott Jernigan, can you guys tell me, is IPsec, especially in terms of tunnel versus, the different types of modes, is that still on the Security Plus 601? Otherwise, Kevin Lopez, stick around because on Monday, just for you, I will do an IPsec presentation. I've already got the presentation. I don't have it here. And if I had the presentation on me right now, you know what? Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. We did do an IPsec. We did a great IPsec. Oh my goodness. We did do IPsec. All right, so here's all right, so you guys ready? I am not going to do IPsec on Monday. I'm taking that back because back last September, I have a presentation on IPsec with me here. And I just don't feel like doing the whole thing. And the reason I don't want to do it again is simply because we've already done it. And it's right here in the Total Seminars channel here on YouTube. All you got to do is do a quick search for IPsec, IPSEC, and you'll find it. Dave Rush found it. We did IPsec on September 23rd of 2020. So let's do this. Watch that video, okay? And then if you have any more questions, ask me in the AMA. How's that sound for a good deal? Okay. So Pujan, do that for me, please, and we'll talk about it. Everybody's reminding me on the CIA, it's availability. Yes, yes, yes. Himanshu Singh, hey Mike, what's up? I'm here, man. Al Mulford, Al's here. Sorry, Al, don't have the hat. I desperately want to go fishing, Al Mulford. Alexander, what do you think about the latest, biggest malware hack? Which one's that? Man, I'm getting swamped with questions I'm not ready to answer today, guys. I'm very, very sorry. Hey, Mike, can you explain TPM 2.0 and why it's needed to use Windows 11? Are they actually requiring TPM 2.0 specifically? The answer is I don't know what exactly the difference is between TPM 1.x and 2.0. I will tell you this, on the Wikipedia, I found a pretty nice little table that breaks it down for you. I don't know why Windows is requiring it, and nobody on a Comptia exam asks the different types of TPM, so I don't bother with them. But I am taking a quick look, and this is right here on Wikipedia, English Wikipedia for Trusted Platform Module. more advanced encryptions like TPM 1.2 was using SHA-1 and RSA with AES being optional. Now AES is required. The crypto primitives, random number generator, public key cryptography, mass generation. They basically improved the way that they generate random values, and they've taken advantage of some more advanced functions that they're putting in TPM for key generation. There's a hierarchy of 3 different, I would assume, keys. This is actually kind of interesting. I mean, the TPM2 is dramatically different than TPM1 versions. Yeah, I don't know. Himanshu saying, I'm sorry, it's just, again, it's not really on the exam, so I tend not to dive into technologies. Tolwit, have any of you played with the Ghostery browser? I've been using the Ghostery add-on in Firefox. I turned it off. It was giving me some troubles. David Mohan, what is the role of ActiveX? The role of ActiveX? The role of ActiveX. It's been very long since I've taken a look at DirectX or any of that stuff. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I'm swishing it big time here. I don't even remember ActiveX. Yeah, boy, I'm sorry. Swing and a miss again. Alexander Alto Ego at 3 o'clock. Can you take both 501 and 601 Security Plus wise? Sure. You're only going to get one certification, but you can take them both. Andrew Hutz, do you know of any simulations for Blue Team? I don't have any straight up simulations. You know, there's, some of the Cyber Patriot stuff has some stuff like that, but it's, yeah, it's a very interesting point, Andrew. I don't know of any simulations for the Blue Team. Interesting. Yeah. Sorry, man, don't know. I mean, when does 501 end and 601 is available? They're both available now. It's not like one stops and the other starts. The 501 is available through the end of July, I believe it is, and the 601 has been available now for a few months. Funnyman 540. One of two. I'm ready to take my Security Plus S501, but I'm having second thoughts. It says on the site that they highly recommend 2 years of experience and a Network Plus cert. Funnyman 540. I mean, these are things you should consider, of course. What I'd recommend is pick up some of my practice questions, and if you feel you can do well on my practice questions for Security Plus 501, go ahead and take it. Just because somebody makes recommendations, that's to help you get where you need to make a decision. And lots of people take Security Plus without 2 years of any form of experience. I will say that it's good to have substantial networking experience. There's going to be lots of Security Plus questions. They're going to ask a lot about networking, where the base questions, you know, John's DHCP is da-da-da. They just assume you know what DHCP is. So that could be an issue. And again, really, the best way I can tell anybody to handle that is to just go in and say, I'll try some practice questions. Honestly, that's the best way to go for it. Also keep in mind we're running low on time there, so you might want to deal with that quicker than later, Funnyman 540. Should I save my money and get my Net Plus instead? Or should I get Security Plus then Net Plus? No, that's putting the cart before the cart before the horse. A lot of people go straight to Security Plus as an introductory certification. I do not recommend it. I don't think you learn enough. I think you should take this Network Plus before you take Security Plus. Abukar, I want to connect remotely to my PC using internet from a different location. You want to do a remote connection. Any recommendation for software, or should I use the software that comes with Windows? The Windows remote connectivity software works beautifully, and I recommend it highly. It works great. Somali, I haven't seen you forever. How you doing, Somali? Finally found a job as a network technician after 1 year of apply and sending request. Yeah, but the important thing is you're working. Somali, well, congratulations to you. Well done, sir. I may, all right, see, you guys, I'm catching up to where you guys are. I may do a little, let me look into TPM a little bit. You know, TPM's always been one of those things that it's just either it's there or it ain't. Either you turned it on or it wasn't there. And straight up, I'm not up on versioning on TPM. But I will take a quick look. I'm not saying we'll do anything on it, especially if there's not really any questions about it. But it might be interesting, especially just going to that one Wikipedia page. There are some interesting aspects to it, too. So I'll do a little R&D on it, get back up to speed. You know, for me, TPM was always the thing that said if you want to run BitLocker, right? And that was it. Joshua Hancock, another one of those crazy WGU kids. Well done. All right. EMH. Mike, can you review IPSec? Kevin, you guys want me to repeat a presentation I've already done? No, I'm not going to do that. EMH Scouts Honor, we have a complete presentation on it. If you guys would say there's a problem with it, where you watch this presentation and it didn't help, I'd be willing to consider that. But no, I mean, there's no reason to repeat ourselves. We have free product right here for you, available for you. So let's stick with that. Cosminel Toto, I failed my Comptia 1002. How can I improve and take it next time? First of all, I'm sorry that you failed. It's never fun to fail. However, other than the cost in money and time, which can be substantial, that's all it is. There's no negative. No one will ever quiz you and ask you how many times you took anything. You can always take it again. So, honestly, the only thing you need to do is get practice questions. You know, I sell practice questions. I have lots of other people out there who sell practice questions. Pick up some practice questions and go through it, and you'll be okay. Al Mulford. 309. Is there a way to protect your computer from ransomware attack other than staying off the internet? Sure, stay on the internet. Al Mulford, just tell your wife not to click on things that she doesn't know that she should be clicking on. Guys, just for the record, Al Mulford here is my brother-in-law. He's married to my sister, so that's why I'm giving him a little bit of a goof. Al, tell Robbie I said hi. But no, the number one way we avoid ransomware attacks is by avoiding phishing attacks. That's where most of this stuff comes from. Or, you know, that and then idiot clicking is always a big deal. most ransomware attacks get integrated because somebody clicks on something that they shouldn't be clicking on. What I've taught people a long time ago is that, especially if you get something really obnoxious that's hard to break, turn off the computer. No, it's not the best thing in the world to do. It'd be nice, and yeah, if you have a Word document open or something, you may lose it, but it's better than getting your computer infected because you keep trying to close a window that you can't close. And then, take advantage of good anti-malware tools that should keep you from going to those sites even in the first place. How are we doing on time? 3:15. We're doing great. Andrew Gillum at 3:11. How do I delete the Windows operating system off an old hard drive without deleting other files such as pictures? Well, first of all, Andrew, you probably don't have to delete the old copy of Windows at first. So let's say you got a single drive in a system that's your Windows machine. You're going to make it as a secondary. So what you do, plug in your other drive, put it in the boot order to make it primary. In fact, in today's systems, you don't even really have to do that. And just leave the other one there. It won't boot off of that system, right? Because you're going to have a new system with a new fresh copy of Windows. You're going to boot to that. It's okay to leave that old copy of Windows there temporarily. And then what I'd recommend you might want to do in that case is move all the things that are important. So you have pictures on this thing. So probably C:\users /your name / my photos or whatever it might be. And just drag that whole folder over to the new drive. Ta-da! Then wipe the other drive. Just wipe that drive, then put your photos back. I mean, that's how I'd handle it. You got to remember, you're going to buy a new drive. And when you buy that new drive, if the capacity isn't at least double of your old drive, then I don't know what's going on. It's hard. In today's world, it's hard for me to find a hard drive, especially a rotational media drive, that's under 4 terabytes. I guess I can still find a couple of 2 terabyte drives around here and there. But they can get a lot bigger than that. So most of the time when you're replacing an old drive with a new drive, you have much more capacity, so you might as well just put all your stuff in there. Delete the Windows when you want to, or reformat it, whatever you want to do. Tom Pickerton at 312. What I've seen is the TPM 2.0 is officially required for Windows 11, but that OEMs are allowed to bypass that requirement, and there have already been posts about how end users can bypass it as well. See, now that's something I'd want to look at. So now I am thinking maybe we do a TPM discussion. TPM and Windows 11 is kind of what I'm thinking about. Again, I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to do that. The only thing I guarantee for Monday is TSX. But I'll look into it. Interesting stuff. Thank you, Tom. Looking for questions. Not a D. Everybody's sneaking in today. Yeah, you guys are going to have Al get on Discord? No. Trust me, Al Mulford is just as nerdy as the rest of us are. He's just nerdy in different ways. Al's also a pilot. Unlike Dave Rush, who had the sanity to fly in nice air-conditioned aircraft, Al Mulford flew in little tiny airplanes with great big wheels and ultralights and crazy things like that. Oh, good Lord. Mark Wheeler, our licenses actually start the day you purchase them. Sorry, Kathy. Kathy Yale's on. Kathy, I've been telling people for years that the license doesn't start until the day that you log in for the first time. Well, wow, that's a big deal. For those of you, I'm very, very sorry. I apologize. I didn't know that. Funny Man 540, I wish to say I appreciate your courses. Thank you. On Udemy, have my Udemy cert completion. Well done. Now go take the test, man. FTPM is a okay, I don't even know what FTPM is. Yeah, Engitech, be careful, man. All right, bye, Al. See you later. All right, guys, it looks like we're starting to wrap it up. I got people walking on me, which is all fine. All right, so let's go ahead and let's start wrapping it up then. A firmware-based TPM2. Okay. Okay, so guys, basically, I have for many, many years been telling people that the practice questions start the day you open them, and now I have been told after many years that it now is the day that you buy them. So basically, it'll boil down to this. If you get really, really, really crabby at me, then we'll adjust the date. Otherwise, sorry. No. All right, guys, don't forget Dave's drama on this Friday at 2 o'clock. OpenCV on Raspberry Pi. And wow, let him do artificial intelligence. Wow, Dave, you're getting all fancy on me. Monday, we're going to do TSX. We may do some TPM with Windows 11. I don't want to do a full-blown TPM because it's hairy, but like TPM and Windows 11, and what does that mean to you? Which is going to crack the whip under my rear end to be doing more work with Windows 11, which I haven't been doing. But even then, I don't guarantee that. Also, remember, I'll be on the Discord channel today here in the next maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up for that. And guys, I will see you guys later. And we will talk to you on Monday. We'll be doing TSX and maybe TPM. So until then, I'm out of here, guys. We'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.